Friends, it's Jenna, Sinful Celluloid, Vodka, and the Bloody Pit of Horror. Let's do this. Quick aside, apparently this is based on the writings of the Marquis de Sade. Stone Chamber, 1648 or so. The Crimson Executioner is being led to his own execution. He has got a red hood on, a mask like the Dread Pirate Roberts, no shirt, and tights. He's wearing red tights. I shall have my revenge. You can't kill me. Sure, buddy. How about you just get in the Iron Maiden? They shove him in there, close the doors. He gets stabbed to death. And they put a metal seal on the lock and like solder it shut. Have fun in your murder castle, being dead in your Iron Maiden. You're gonna suffer here for eternity. Peace. Cut 2. Bunch of cars driving up to the murder castle. Obviously, some time has passed. A dozen models and guys pile out of these cars. They're looking to shoot some book covers, apparently. They ring the bell. Nobody answers. So they just decide to break in because they have to commit a sin so they can all be murdered. A dude in like a striped shirt. He kind of looks like Popeye. They all kind of look like Popeye, the striped shirt brigade. He comes out, he's like, "Who are you guys? What are you doing in my master's castle?" "Oh, we need to speak to your master about a business proposition." It's like, "Fine, I'll bring you to see the master." "We're gonna call the master Captain Tight Pants, and you're gonna find out why in a little bit." He's like, "How dare you guys force your way in here? This is my castle. How about you F off?" "Oh, we're so sorry. We just want to shoot some book covers and post some models." And he's like, "Nah, get out." Then he happens to see one of the ladies. We're gonna call her Short Bob. She's got a short bob. He obviously recognizes her. So he calls him up through the old castle intercom and is like, "Wait, you guys can totally stay here for the night. Just 1, don't disturb me, and 2, don't go in the dungeons." What do these bastards do? They get changed, and they go location scouting in the dungeons. I shit you not, there is a dude dressed in a skeleton onesie. Him and a second guy go traipse around the dungeons. They find the Iron Maiden. Dumbass hits an axe. An axe has been hanging on the wall, knocks it off. It cuts the soldered seal off of the Iron Maiden. Just like a bull in a china shop, basically. They cut to the photo shoot. Bunch of ladies slaughtered on the floor, knights in armor strangling women, skeleton onesies. It's probably for an autobiography. Guy and a lady go off to make out in some chamber. While they're gone, they're setting up another shoot. Barry is laying down on some sort of torture rack. They get ready to shoot him, and oops, the rope that was holding onto this wooden plank full of knives snaps, comes down, buries a berry kebab. Nobody really seems that upset by it. Meanwhile, the two who ran to go get it on in the dank corner are interrupted by guess who? The Crimson Executioner. He is pissed. Guess who the Crimson Executioner is? Because it's not hard to tell at all. Captain Tight Pants, Captain Tight Red Pants, Captain Shirtless Tight Red Pants. The dude gets his neck snapped, and the lady, she gets Iron Maidened. Captain Tight Pants makes a quick change, and he heads off a bunch of the guys wearing a pastel kimono. Guys, let me drop some exposition on you about this castle. Do you know about the Crimson Executioner? And they're like, of course I know. Who doesn't know about the Crimson Executioner? Oh yeah, he used to live here, and this is where he was buried, and this is where all of his torture happened. Not a problem. Let's keep shooting our book covers. Short Bob comes out, and of course he gets googly eyes. He gets all Twitter-pated, and he excuses himself. It's all very awkward. And once he gets alone, he goes off on this soliloquy about how the day of the Crimson Executioner has come, and they're all going to basically pay for their sins. Turns out, Broham got all Twitter-pated because him and Short Bob used to be engaged. He disappeared, and she hasn't seen him since. What a coincidence! Two dudes downstairs find the lady who got Iron Maiden. So that's 2 models now who have been murdered. Again, nobody seems super worried, but they now know that it is quote-unquote deliberate murder. So one of the guys goes to drive off to get the police. Too bad when he gets out there, somebody crossbows an arrow through his neck. So he just ends up with his foot on the gas pedal driving around circles in the driveway. In the most ludicrous sequence of events in this movie, which is hard to pick one, okay? Main guy and Short Bob hear crying. They open a door to find one of the models strapped in a web of metal spiderweb stuff, tied to arrows that if you hit the spider web, the arrows are going to stab her. And also there's a mechanical spider, like, creeping towards her face very slowly. And it's got, she knows, poison claws. She just lays out the whole plan for him. She's like, don't come near me. Save yourselves. You can't help me. I'm just going to get poisoned by this spider. Main guy does his best Catherine Zeta-Jones in that cat burglar movie and, like, worms his way on the floor to try and go get her. He's useless. He doesn't get to her in time. She gets clawed by the spider. She dies. Short Bob freaks. Captain Tight Pants gets Short Bob in a corner, and he goes full on bonkers. I'm the Crimson Executioner. He throws off his robe. He's in his full tight pantsed glory. He grabs like a chalice full of oil and starts rubbing down his naked torso and talking about how perfect his body is. He's like, the Crimson Executioner's crusade lives on through me. You dumbasses knocked a lock off of his Iron Maiden, and you're all going to pay. He darts down a secret passageway. He's got torturers to torture. When he gets down there, you know, a lot of models are tied up. Main money guy's tied up. He burns one guy to death. He puts two ladies on a spinning torture wheel of death and kind of gives them paper cuts. He drips some cold water on another lady. It doesn't really seem like it's that hard to bear, but she writhes in agony. Another lady gets stretched on a rack. Torture, 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 as he kind of like darts around with glee in his eyes. In the second most ludicrous scene of this movie, main guy wakes up tied to a bed as a plank, like a platform of wood, slowly descends on him with knives attached to it. Luckily, in the dead body next to him, he spies a pair of nail clippers in the guy's front pocket, manages to get them out, turn it around so he can use the clippers, and clips his bonds. Manages to snap the rope, rolls off the bed just in time to avoid certain shish kebabbing. Short Bob makes it down to the dungeons. Crimson Executioner, you can do this. Yes, I can. He picks her up, he straps her down to some sort of rock thing, and is going to apparently try to roast her to death with hot coals. He's a really not a skilled torturer. He might be possessed by the Crimson Executioner, but this guy was balls at his job. Guess who shows up? Crimson Executioner. Captain Tight Pants #1 is like, I'm the Crimson Executioner, and he crossbows the body. It's the body of the other Crimson Executioner, the real one who's been dead for 400 years, being held up in a very awkward reveal by main guy. He just like has the body in front of him. And it's just like, ha! Toss. Captain Tight Pants and main guy fight. Everyone else is dead. In the third most ludicrous sequence of this movie, Captain Tight Pants gets shoved into a life-size doll with straw for hair that apparently has poison-tipped knives shooting out of its torso, and he runs into it, stabs himself, so now he's going to die by poison. But that's not really what bothers him. What bothers him is he's like, I've done so much damage to my perfect body. It has been contaminated. And he like convulses, and then he falls to the ground and he dies. Main guy picks up half-naked Short Bob and carries her out of the torture dungeon scene with the bloody pit of horror. One, there was almost no blood. The most blood we got was when the ladies were on the spinning torture wheel and the little knives were giving paper cuts. #2, for this movie to have 3 sequences that I could pick out that were ridiculous beyond measure from the crap I've had to watch for these assignments, that is saying something. This is like, It's blessedly short. I think it's only like 78 minutes. This is Jenna, Sinful Celluloid. Vodka. The bloody pit of horror